All right, welcome to the live stream. Today we're going to be building flexibility in the upper body. So we're going to get right into it, starting with a stretch for the muscles between your shoulders. So for this, you're going to grab onto a post or anything solid like a door frame. We're going to be stretching this muscle back in here, in the back of your shoulder. That's the middle trap, some of the rhomboids, some of the back of your shoulder with that posterior deltoid. So grabbing on to a post, you're going to use the other hand to hug your arm into your chest and then turn towards your arm. So I'm turning into that side. So till I feel that stretch in the back of my shoulder. Now we're gonna hold all these stretches at least 20 seconds. We're doing static stretching, and that is what's going to build that flexibility, keep that constant tension on the muscle. I like to do these stretches in my off week from working out because I find that it helps me to keep that mind-muscle connection, that feeling of where the muscle is, make sure I don't get too stiff, and it helps me just feel better without having to really strain a lot, and I can still rest and recover, but it still gives me some way to be a bit active and to build progression where I can feel like I'm building flexibility and still keeping the muscle a little bit active. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, grabbing about shoulder level, hugging your elbow into your chest and turning towards, if I have my left hand grabbing, I'm turning towards my left and holding that stretch. Now none of these should be painful. You should feel tension, but no pain. I find if I just take a week entirely off of working out, when I come back the next week, it's harder to get back in the swing of things. It's hard to feel the muscle. They might feel a little stiff or a little bit more, it's a little more difficult to warm up and get into the exercise. But if I've been stretching, I find it's easier to just pick right back up. So that's one of the reasons I like stretching in the off week. And relax. So now we're going to be stretching the chest muscles. They run from the sternum, that breastplate bone, all the way into your shoulder. So for this, you're going to put your arm on a door frame right at shoulder height. So your elbow is right at shoulder height. And then from here, you're going to turn away from that arm, trying to keep your shoulder back. So don't let it round forward. So I'm not letting it do this or really pulling back. You want to try and keep it forward where I'm staying straight and tall, opening up that chest. So push your chest forward and turn away from that side. So I'm turning towards my left till I feel that stretch across my chest. Now this is a great stretch if you do a lot of computer work or bending forward work. If you feel like you're a little bit slouched, these muscles can be a little bit shortened, and opening them up and lengthening them through either working out or through stretching can really help your entire shoulder feel better. I found that for me, this muscle took a lot of work to actually gain flexibility in, but it changes my entire shoulder. It feels so much better in my shoulder now where I don't have that discomfort in the front. And same thing on the other side, elbow at shoulder height, turning out and away. Now you might feel it's more tight on one side than the other. That's normal. We're not really symmetrical. None of us are. If you think about it, your heart is actually not symmetrical either. It's more on one side than the other. So our muscles are also going to be a little asymmetric as well. If you have any questions, let me know in the chat. All these stretches, we're trying to do a continuous held stretch, holding where there's tension but no pain. So with this one, These are called the internal rotators of the shoulder. They pull the shoulder in and down. So if you look, if I'm in and down, I'm kind of hunched forward. And that's why we're stretching up and back to get that posture. So now we're going to stretch the muscles in the back of the shoulder. These are the lats. They actually run all the way from the shoulder down into your low back. What you're going to do is reach over the top of your head, grab onto a post or a door frame, and then you're going to step away, feeling that stretch along the upper back and the shoulder. Now, if you want to increase the stretch, you can turn just a little bit towards that side, and I'll increase that stretch all the way down. Holding this for 20 seconds. You can use this hand for support or on your hip, whatever feels comfortable to you. We're stretching this top side though. And hold that stretch. Now you want to go to where there's just tension, no pain. If you feel like it's stinging or painful, try backing off just a little bit from that movement till you feel just tension, and hold that stretch. This is another internal rotator that pulls in and down. It's a very strong muscle. And same thing on the other side, reaching over the top of your head. Oh, for me, this left side is definitely tighter. So I can't quite go as far over. I'm not quite sure why it's asymmetric. All of us have a little bit of asymmetries. I just need to spend a little bit more time on this left side for sure. I find for me, the lats are the hardest thing to really feel on a day-to-day. And though doing pull-ups with a full hang can also help with these. And relax. All right, now we're going to be stretching the muscles right here between the shoulder blades. Now, if you have shoulder tension or if you feel like you have pain between the shoulder blades, this is a great stretch to do. This is a rhomboid stretch. What we're going to do is put one hand over the top of the other, and then from here you're going to reach out towards the front. You should feel how that pulls your shoulder blades apart. And then you're going to bring your chin down to your chest, holding that stretch for 20 seconds. You might feel a lot of tension. Now, if you can't get your chin all the way down to your chest, that is okay. The whole idea is to push your shoulder blades apart and almost like you're pushing your back out towards the wall behind you. Trying to not breathe too heavily into the mic. Holding this for about 20 seconds. And when you let go of this, you should actually feel a release in your shoulders. Now, that one's great if you are, I say this for a couple of these, but if you're at a computer, think about it, your shoulder blades are always right here. So you're at your desk, you're using your mouse, and if we get that forward motion where that muscle can really lengthen and then shorten, rather than just sitting at that one length the whole day, it can help that muscle actually feel a lot better. So I really like that stretch, especially for just a regular basis day to day. Now we're gonna move down. We're gonna stretch actually the rib cage right at about chest level. So we're going to do the thoracic rib cage. So for this, you'll need a bench or a chair. I'm going to be using this bench, but you can do it just as easily with a chair. So what you're going to do, put your elbows on a flat surface And then from here, you're going to walk back till your hands are right about where your head is. So right against the sides of your head. From here, we're gonna push our chest down. So you're dropping your chest down towards the ground and trying to breathe in and out, taking deep breaths as you hold that stretch. So this is stretching that rib cage, that thoracic region. So pushing down towards the ground. You might feel like this is really tight. This is great stretch for your middle and upper back. It can actually relieve a lot of tension up into your neck too, because you're straightening out that spine. A lot of times people have a little bit of a curve forward at their spine and don't realize it. So this helps stretch out all those little muscles and tissues around that spine, going into that what's called thoracic extension. So this can actually help relieve that tension in your upper back, shoulders, and neck. Holding this for 20 seconds, taking deep breaths in, deep breaths out. We're opening that rib cage up. Trying to go a little lower each breath if you can. Now you might feel this all the way up into your shoulders, into your back. Pushing down through that rib cage. And relax. And all right, now we're going to stretch the bicep. The bicep actually attaches all the way down here, but then goes all the way up into the front of your shoulder. So we're going to be stretching these muscles in here in the front of your shoulder. So for this, you're going to clasp your hands behind your back. And then from here, you're going to straighten your arms, trying to lift your hands up off the front of your back. You should feel that stretch right here in the front of your shoulder. Now try and just go to where you feel tension. There shouldn't be any pain. If you need to, you can grab onto something. If it's a little too hard to lift your hands up off the ground, off your back, then you can grab onto something and just lean forward, keeping your elbows in as much as possible. So keeping those hands and elbows together, pushing up to the back or leaning away, feeling that gentle stretch in the front of your shoulder. So we're stretching that bicep tendon or bicep attachment and that anterior deltoid in the front of your shoulder. Just a gentle stretch, holding for 20 seconds. Back when I trained martial arts, I used to do a ton of stretching for my legs, but I almost never stretched my upper body. So a lot of times, my upper body was really all knotted up. My legs were really flexible. I could do splits at one point, but I would find that my shoulders and especially shoulder joints would be prone to more injury because I was never doing anything to stretch those muscles. So in here, I'd have pain in the front of my shoulder. All these muscles that were supposed to hold the shoulder together were so tight and knotted that nothing was really working well together. So now we're going to stretch the tricep, which goes all the way down the back of the elbow into the shoulder blade. You're going to put your hand on top of your shoulder, and then with your other hand, we're going to lift up, pulling on that elbow till you feel a stretch in the back of your arm. Now, if you feel a stretch right here, that's fine. Hold tension right there. Just go to where you feel that stretch. I've been working on this one for a little while, so I have to get to about here. Some people can get their elbow all the way behind their body I'm not quite there yet, but hold that stretch, feeling that stretch in your tricep. You might feel it all the way down into your rib cage on this one too. And same thing on the other side. Grabbing onto that elbow, pulling to the back, feeling a stretch in your tricep. A lot of times what I like to do for stretching is stretching both sides of a muscle group, because most muscles work in pairs where there's two muscles, one going one direction, one going the other. So if I stretch the bicep, I also want to stretch the tricep, because that way I'm not just stretching one side really a lot and the other side stays inflexible. I want to try and get both sides stretched so they're pliable, can go in all the different directions I need my arms to. So that was our stretching for upper body today. If you like this sort of content, I host these live streams on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 11 o'clock Pacific time. So hope to see you guys there. If you have any questions for me, let me know in the comments or the chat. And I hope to see you guys Friday. Take care.